morning, guys. My name is Rado Bassi from the City Calumet Fire Department. We're going to talk about hose advancement, specifically on the deuce and a half. The name for this hose advancement is actually going to be called the Comella. Let's get into it. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the Comella. Comella is going to be used for something when it comes to a transitional attack. If for whatever reason the engineer either spots too close or you don't have enough room to do an exposure line or a Q, this is a great method to do a nice transitional attack. So when it comes to actually setting up for the Comella, you want to make sure you have a firm base. You're going to grab your nozzle. Everyone's right-handed in the fire service, so pretty much we're going to get in a kneeling position like this. Hose is going to go underneath my armpit as tight as I can get it. I'm going to get my elbow pointed towards my pelvis as close as possible. I'm going to make sure I have a good pony line. One way to check to make sure that we have a good pony line for our nozzle forward is by getting my opposite hand, so my left hand, and just put it in front of the nozzle like this. So once I have a good nozzle point or a good position, I'm ready to actually start flowing. A good tip is to make sure that the bail is turned to the left like that. That way when you are advancing your hose, you're moving your nozzle, you're doing any kind of management, this doesn't get in the way, and it doesn't open while you're actually deploying your hose. So now that I have my positioning, one thing I really want to talk about is our foundation. I'm a little too close. If you want to go outside, I definitely recommend it. My right foot is going to be pointed towards the fire. That way, when I do open the bail and I do get that nozzle reaction, my body isn't going to naturally turn to the right. So when I have my elbow tucked in like this, right foot's pointed in. Lastly, I want to make sure I'm anchored down on my left foot. So my left foot's going to be in that 90-degree angle. That way I can plant and move and plant and go. So this is what the Comella should look like when you're getting ready to go. Yep. All right, now that I'm positioned, I'm ready to start flowing some water. We're going to get used to what we call nozzle reaction. So as I'm tightening everything up, I'm going to start flowing water. I want to get ready for that nozzle reaction. I want to make sure that my tail is at least 6 to 10 feet out behind me. That way when I do get that nozzle reaction, it's not going to move my hose left or right, and I'm not going to be forcing it, trying to pull the hose. So as I'm pulling forward, getting ready to do my hose stream, I'm going to start opening the bail. As I open the bail, I'm going to lean forward for that nozzle reaction that we're talking about. Slowly, lean forward, keep going. With my left foot, I'm going to play it like that. And I'm ready to start pouring water. Lean back a little bit. That way you'll get that nozzle reaction, lean forward, and you're good to go. All right, for learning purposes, we're going to have Firefighter Ortega demonstrate how to deploy and advance the deuce and a half using the Comella method, and I'm going to talk you through. So he's all set up. He made sure that the left bail, or his left hand is on the bail. His elbow's tucked in. He's got his good triangle. He's got a good foundation. So now he's going to get ready for that nozzle reaction and start flowing some water. So he's already checked his stream. He's already checked his pressure, and he already checked his CPM. So as he's ready to advance, you can do this single-handedly or with two people. We'll show you that in a minute. He's putting water with the deuce and a half, and now he's getting ready to advance his hose. As he's advancing his hose, he's putting pressure on his left side and his left hand. That way he can move forward, and he's gonna start fighting water right now. This isn't easy, but it's definitely manageable with one person. So the more reps and sets you get, the easier it'll be for you. This allows the captain to do his 360, allows the other firemen to grab the tools, and allows him to get ready for that transitional attack. So we showed you how to do it with one man, now let's show you how to do it with two. So the second guy obviously gets to see who's in front, who's his nozzle guy, depending on the experiences, depending on how much help he's gonna need. So the guy in the back, he's gonna be managing hose. The one thing that you want to position to set yourself up for success and not failure is to make sure what side the fireman's on. So if he's on the left side of the hose, I'm going to be on the left side of the hose. If he's on the right side, I'm going to be on the right side. So he chose the right side. He chose his right side, which is going to be left depending on your positioning. So I'm gonna get directly behind him. So I have two different positions I can do. One, I can get set for nozzle reaction. So when he does start flowing, I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on this line right here. And when I put pressure on this line, this allows minimal nozzle reaction and doesn't cause that hose to whip up. We call that nozzle whip. So as we put our hands on the ground, he can start flowing water, and it's gonna make it easier for him. So as he's flowing water, it made it 10 times easier for him to actually flow water and not worry about anything else behind him. So my main goal is to make sure that he has no water nozzle reaction, and I'm gonna start advancing the hose with him. So when he's ready to move, I'm gonna get in position. One way to get in position is to make sure that whatever side I'm in, my opposite non-dominant hand, so if he's on the right, my left shoulder is gonna go over the hose. We're also creating another triangle right here. My hand's gonna be underneath the hose, and I'm gonna be over like this. And I'm gonna use my dominant muscle in my legs to start pushing to the direction he's going. So as that happens, I'm grabbing underneath, like I said, the underhand grip. Left hand's on over the shoulder, or over the hose. My right foot is extended, and all I'm gonna do is slide. So let's just start going. I your march.
Nozzle forward.
Nozzle forward.
Stop.
Nozzle stop. So as he says nozzle stop, I can get back, put more pressure, and we're ready to start fighting fire. In conclusion, this Comella method is just a tool in your asset. It's used for garage fires, attachment complexes, anything where you have to have big water on a big fire. This allows us to deploy the hose a lot quicker than an exposure loop, a Q-lip, and allows us to do that transitional attack. Thank you for watching.